So, here's a huge question for you. Is the universe we live in just some kind of cosmic accident? Or is it more like a finely tuned symphony? Today, we're going to explore that idea, starting from the scale of entire galaxies and zooming all the way down to the tiniest particles. It really seems like the universe is walking a tightrope. The fundamental laws of physics, they're balanced so precisely that if you were to just nudge them even a tiny, tiny bit in one direction or another, well, we just wouldn't be here to talk about it. This is what scientists call the fine-tuning problem. All right, let's start with the really big picture, the galaxies. Now, they aren't just thrown randomly across the void of space. There's a hidden order to it, a kind of cosmic balance at play. Some philosophical traditions actually have a name for this, nizam v'mizan, which is this idea of order and balance. That, as we'll see, seems to pop up at every single scale of existence. So the way these massive galaxy clusters are spaced out, it's absolutely crucial. It's really not a coincidence that they are where they are. This exact arrangement is what allows galaxies like our own Milky Way to form and to thrive over billions of years. Yeah, it's a cosmic balancing act. If you pack the galaxies too close together, you get constant collisions that would just wreck solar systems. But if they were too far apart, galaxies wouldn't get enough gas to form new stars and planets. The universe, it seems, has to be just right. Okay, now let's look at another piece of this puzzle, supernovae. These are these massive stellar explosions, and they're basically the universe's factories. They forge all the heavy elements that we're made of. I'm talking about the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones. But even these incredible acts of creation have to happen at just the right time and in just the right place. Think of it this way. If you have too many supernovae going off in your galactic neighborhood, any new life just gets blasted into oblivion by radiation. But if you have too few, you just don't have the raw building blocks to make planets in the first place. It's another one of these knife-edge examples of the universe's incredible balance. Now, from one perspective, this cosmic order isn't seen as just a coincidence. This quote from the Quran, for example, frames it as a system that was intentionally created and made subservient, with things like the sun, the moon, and Earth's resources all put in service for a specific purpose. Okay, so from the unimaginable vastness of space, let's bring it all back home to Earth. Our planet is this rare jewel, a perfect storm of conditions that allows life to thrive in what is, let's be honest, an overwhelmingly hostile universe. Earth's life support system is just this long list of, well, what you might call fortunate coincidences. From our perfect distance from the sun to our protective magnetic field, everything has to be just right. Any one of these is a whole story in itself, but let's just focus on one we all know and love: water. The magic of water really comes down to a tiny little electrical charge. This property, its polarity, is what lets it dissolve nutrients for all of life's chemistry, and it helps regulate our planet's climate by absorbing and releasing heat. It's a tiny, tiny detail with absolutely planet-sized consequences. And oh man, the consequences of changing this one little thing are wild. Make it a little stronger and our weather systems would totally fail because water couldn't evaporate easily. Make it a little weaker and ice would sink instead of float, causing our oceans to freeze solid from the bottom up. This delicate molecular balance is what some call Senatin Imzasa, the signature of a divine artist. And following that same line of thought, these verses from the Quran present this intricate design, not as some random chance, but as intentional brushstrokes. They highlight the central role of water in creation and the unique place of humanity within that creation. We've gone from galaxies to our home planet. Now, let's go even smaller. I mean, way smaller, deep into the unseen world of the atom. Down here, the rules of the game are set by 4 fundamental forces, and their precision is, well, it's absolutely astounding. These 4 forces are basically the puppet masters of the entire universe. They govern every single interaction, and their strengths are dialed in with just incredible precision. I mean, if you were to just nudge the value of any one of them, the universe as we know it would either collapse in on itself or just fly apart. Let's take this strong nuclear force, for instance. It's the cosmic superglue holding the nucleus of every single atom together, and its strength is a perfect, and maybe the most dramatic, example of this fine-tuning we're talking about. A tiny 2% change. That's all it would take to make the universe completely lifeless. If it were just 2% stronger, all the hydrogen from the Big Bang would have instantly fused into heavier elements. No hydrogen, no stars like our sun. 2% weaker, and protons would just repel each other. You'd only ever have hydrogen, no planets, no you, no me. This incredible precision is why some texts, like the Risa Leonor, describe particles as a Zeralayer Ordesu, an army of particles, all moving in perfect, coordinated harmony. So, from the largest galaxies to the smallest atoms, we see the same pattern over and over again, a universe that seems to be perfectly set up for life. Which leads to the really big question, right? What does it all mean? Well, here are the main lines of thought, and we're just going to lay them out impartially. One perspective argues that all this precision points to a creator, seeing the universe as an intentional message, what's called the Kainat Kitaba, or the Book of the Universe. On the other hand, you have naturalistic explanations. One is the anthropic principle, which basically says we're like a puddle of water marveling at how perfectly the hole we're in fits us. And then there's the multiverse theory, which suggests that if you have enough universes, one like ours was bound to happen eventually, just by chance. As the physicist Stephen Hawking himself pointed out, the appearance of design is remarkable. So even scientists who don't believe in a creator often agree that this fine-tuning is a deep mystery about our cosmos that really demands an explanation. And so, the real takeaway from all of this isn't a single definitive answer. It's the profound question itself. It invites us to look up at the stars and inward at ourselves and just think about our place in this exquisitely balanced, mysterious cosmos. So, what do you think?